Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of Day 4 with the man Frank SCALISH. Day 4, number 189.
We are here.
Yeah, we're about 10 away from show 200. But as we will learn in this show, we will be celebrating the thought of show 200.
Yes,
a little premature celebration.
And who knows, we might make 200 by the time I get down there and come home.
By the time it does. Really cool show today. We're going to talk about drastic weather changes, something both you and I have experienced in our parts of the country, what I think 80% of the country has experienced, especially the part of the country that doesn't typically freeze. Like we're seeing crazy stuff in Oklahoma where water temps went from like 50 to 38 in like 4 days.
Yeah,
that's 3 days.
Yeah, that's a big drop.
So there were some things. I've been out on the water getting the new setup dialed in, and there are some things. That's one of the cool things is there's something you could see how the fish were or weren't reacting that was obviously different than it had been last week.
Oh yeah. Before we get in,
yeah, you just comment on that. I mean, we actually had a pre-show meeting for the first time in a while. Probably a year and a half.
In a while. It's so funny. Normally, if I have a deep dive pre-planned, I'm like, I got the deep dive. We're good. We go over it a little bit, and then we just run the show. And the funniest thing in the world is that my wife is like, every Wednesday night, we'll sit there and we'll be eating dinner, and she'll go, "Oh, you got BTL tomorrow." She's like, "What are you going to talk about?" I go, "I have no idea."
Yeah,
but we always figure it out, so we're good. We're good there. But here's what I wanted to get off right off the rip, okay, before we get started. Right off the rip. The new Bass Talk Live code is capital BTL 25 is now in full effect. Every 2 weeks, we are going to give a $50 gift card away to one of the loyal listeners or loyal viewers. And here's how it's going to work, because we were kind of pulling our eyes out trying to figure out how we could do this. And so what's going to happen is it's not even going to come from me and Matt. So anytime you use the BTL code, okay, with LureNet, your name is going in a randomizer. And every 2 weeks, a random name is going to be drawn. And then we will get the name of the winner and the gift card code for $50. So you won't receive something actually in the mail. You will receive a digit code, and it's worth $50. Okay. And that's how we're going to do it now.
So if you buy your signature color and you use the code BTL25, and that's how they know that it goes through BTL, is you have to use the code BTL25, so it gives you a % off, and then boom, you're registered.
Correct. You're automatically in it, and it'll run for the entirety of the program.
That's a lot easier than the option we selected for the full set of FX colored Rogues.
Pro Rogues,
which is next on the list. But all right, continue on that.
And so because I want to do more. I want to do more for our audience, for you guys. Randomizer.
Why did he say? Did you say it funny the first time?
Maybe. The randomizer.
How do you say it?
Randomizer. Yeah.
Randomizer.
Yeah. It's like on Tournament of Champions, Guy Fieri's Tournament of Champions. The randomizer is the great equalizer. Okay.
You say completely normal, I think. One more time.
Randomizer.
Yeah, no. That's normal.
Okay. So anyway, so we digress. So anyhow, so So what I want to do in between the weeks of the $50 We are going down a path we are going down a path today. So what I want to do, after we, in between the weeks of picking the winner for the $50 gift card, we're going to give lures away. We're just giving. We're going to make some contests with the people who, go in and make comments and stuff. We're just going to start. We're going to give baits away.
Are there lure that's cool with this, or you're not even asking them?
It was a suggestion that was well received.
Okay.
They're cool with it. I mean,
okay.
I mean, here, look, at the end
I'm
of the
just making
day.
sure. I mean, I'm all for it. We'll give away stuff whether they want us to or not.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude, 100%. I mean, because it's a lot of fun to get everybody involved. It's a lot of fun to get free stuff, and so we're keeping it going. And now, okay, so man alive, there's so
just
much.
Keep going. We're plugging through it because we haven't even gotten to the big announcements. We've got 3 more big announcements.
Yeah, but I don't even know what's the big announcement.
I don't know what. Go ahead and keep talking about. We did something about how you're giving lures away.
Yeah,
with a randomizer.
With a randomizer. So anyhow, so in between the $50 gift cards, there's going to be lures. We're throwing them everywhere, and then everybody knows I'm feeling generous in 2025. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Just keep going. I'm just throwing comments.
I know, but I can't pay attention. You're throwing.
I know. I'm kind of enjoying this.
That's okay. So everybody knows that I'm a Norman crankbait freak machine. Like, I have been fishing Normans since the day I could cast a bait caster.
Oh, we're doing this now.
No, well, I could. We don't have to. We can
save it for the end of the show.
Okay, we're gonna wait.
Listen. There is a giveaway in this show that is for someone in the live comments. It has to do with your knowledge and history of Norman crankbaits and colors.
Yes.
And the first person to type it into the live, this is just for the live listeners. Yes. The first person to type it into the live will win it from Uncle Frank. He'll have it sent to you right now. Like end of discussion, when he says it, that's the first guy that does it. Boom, it's yours.
And this is hilarious. This is really good because
people are already guessing. It's not a year, Kyle. He just guessed 1973.
Don't start doing anything until we say to do
Lincoln
something.
Already guessed citrus shad.
Stop it. Stop guessing.
Peter Log already guessed Evu. Now that you guys have absolutely no idea what you just wait. Just wait.
Because just wait. Because this is getting out of hand. Just wait.
Yes. All right. Where else you want to go, or do we want to go to the FXs now before we get to the big news?
We could do the FXs if you wish.
Okay. So last week we also show that beautiful box of jerk baits, Uncle Frank.
And I know there's a couple guys because of the comments online that really need these. One in particular.
So that is a complete set of custom painted FX series. Are they Pro Rogues or Super Rogues? Pro Rogues. 6 in total, all Frank SCALISH custom colors. They're available on lurenet.com should you not win this. But the task was to submit show ideas either via my email or YouTube comments.
Right. So the Pro Rogue is the exact same body size as the Perfect 10. Okay. This is the original Pro Rogue. And this was the bait that when I was throwing jerk baits on Lake Erie and winning a lot of those smallmouth tournaments locally, that bait and one other and a bomber bait is what I would throw all the time when I would tell them I was catching them on jerk baits. I didn't disclose what I was catching them on because they were all my competition, and you know the drill. I mean,
you hate your competition.
Only when I'm competing against them. Yeah, only when I'm competing against them. So I would always say a jerk bait, and then they would always assume it was something else, but it wasn't. It was, it was the Pro Rogue. Now, real quick, and then I won't get too much in the weeds on the Pro Rogue. The Pro Rogue has a very unique action to it, and it depends how you fish the thing. Okay, so when I'm smallmouth fishing with it, I pull it as hard as I can pull it, and the bill on the Pro Rogue will flex a little bit.
I remember you've done a show on this.
And when it flexes, it has erratic motion to it. But when I pause it, it sits level in the water, and when I twitch the rod tip, it rocks on its axis. It doesn't go back and forth. It rocks on its axis like that. That's the triggering thing with the Pro Rogue. So a lot of guys that may throw, well, the suspending rattling rogue's the same way, but the guys that don't experience monumental success with it really aren't fishing it properly, because it's one of the best cold water jerk baits ever. And so that's all I want to say about that, because this isn't a jerk bait show.
This is an interesting question. I've got an answer. I want to see if you agree with it. Sean said, "How is the Pro Rogue different from a Vision 110?" So this is how I see it. I see it as the Pro Rogue as like a diesel truck, and the Vision 110 as like a compact car. They're both vehicles. They can get you to the destination, but they're totally different in their action. And is that a fair comparison?
Yeah, I can tell you the exact difference.
That would be handy, yeah.
Okay,
so
the Pro Rogue is lazy. It's lazy in the water, where the Vision 110 has a much tighter vibration to it. And so there are times in the wintertime, the bass, everybody says, oh, they slow down in the winter. Well, their metabolism slows down, but you physically, once you hook a bass in the winter, you physically can't tell that they're, slowing down. It's almost negligent to the naked eye and how the bass behaves, but they want an easy meal. They don't want to run a bait down. Okay. That's the whole key in the cold weather. They don't want to run that bait down. They want something super easy, because they're not going to expend a lot of energy to feed because of their metabolism. And so that's the difference. And, the tight, straight action versus a lazy, lethargic, it's not the same every time you pull it. It's not 100% the same every time you pull it. And really, that's the only difference. And here, look, I'll be honest with you. There are times when they want a tight action, and there are times when they won't even run it. They won't even look at it. I've seen it on live scope, where I've got 3 different jerk baits tied out. When I'm jerk bait fishing live scope, I got 3 different types of baits tied on. And there are times when they won't even react to one. And then there are times I'll throw one out there and they'll follow it, but they won't commit to it. And then I get the right action, and they run it down and choke on it. So it's all about the action, and every brand of jerkbait's action is slightly different than the other. So you have to kind of keep your eye out on that. It's just like color.
I'll say this. Anybody who is a true jerkbait fisherman and says they only have one brand of jerkbait in their boat is a liar.
Up total 100%, or they're not good at jerkbait fishing.
That's what I said. Any jerkbait fisherman worth their salt.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, there's 3. There's 3, and one of them is the Smithwick Rogue.
Yeah.
One of them is the Vision 110. The other one is the mixed stick. Now you can also throw the Lucky Craft in there. There's a couple others that are out there that are all they're all really good. But in my opinion, like those 3, every good jerkbait fisherman has those in their boat.
Yeah, and I will probably be honest with you, and I don't have any Vision 110s.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
That
I know.
blows me away, Frank.
I know. I guess I'm not a good jerkbait fisherman.
I'll tell you what,
According
that
to our
stunna
rules.
is that stunna is a good one too from Berkeley. I've caught some fish on that. I like to throw that stunna up north when there's a good chance that about a 23-inch pike is going to have it and just gull it, and you don't get the jerkbait back.
Well, and that's a big problem up north. I laugh so hard because it's like I'm not going down the $25 jerkbait road.
Yeah.
Only to pull it twice and have a northern pike choke on it, and then I'm coming back with my lines blowing in the wind. So, but we have different predators to deal with up here.
Yeah.
So
there it is right there. Okay, so that was a long story to get to this story. So last week on BTL, we said either comment or email me show topics, and if your topic is selected and Frank does a deep dive into this topic, entire set of the Pro Rogues. So I was not expecting over 100 suggestions. So I just want to show everybody just so we're on. So I have, oops, it doesn't show that for some reason.
Probably because there's names.
Oh, that's funny. People are going to be really curious on what that was. I'm doing a little research on something that's coming later this year. For some reason, that doesn't show up. Anyway, I have a 6-page Word document over here with everybody's email or username and their show idea, and then it is categorized into ones that are similar, ones that are different, and everything. So after the show, I am going to we're going to go over this document and we're going to select the winner.
Correct. And so then we'll announce it on the next show, and I'll send them out.
Yeah. So the next show,
you could contact the guy too.
Yeah, we'll contact that winner, and I'll get you his contact information, and we'll let you know, or her. Yeah,
his or her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because there's this one. Can Frank please demonstrate how he fishes shirtless in the summertime?
Actually, I don't.
From cinnamon
from cinnamon candy.
From cinnamon candy 09.
Oh my god.
She said, do you remember me from the open celebration? Open victory celebration.
I cannot confirm nor deny
kidding. I'm just kidding. So anyway, that's what we've got going on there. I wanted to make sure we got it right. I am beyond impressed with some of the show ideas. One of my favorite would be, have you ever seen those deals where they like strap a GoPro to a dog and then they like let him chase a ball around the back? Yeah. So one of the ideas for a show is a 24-hour live stream where we strap a GoPro to your forehead and it's a 24-hour POV with Frank SCALISH through a normal day of life.
I'm not even gonna go down.
You have an external battery pack, and you just keep it in your pocket when you wake up. You have Rachel put the thing on, hit the record, and then it's just all day while you're down working on lures, fixing plumbing issues.
That'll never happen.
Sorry, you're out on that one. But yeah, so there we go. All right, on to the big news. Have you determined Uncle Frank is coming to Oklahoma this show next week, live in studio?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Multiple shows, multiple everythings.
Yeah,
we have a meet and greet. It's fantastic. I think you're getting into town when? January 20th or 21st?
One of the two. The two.
And then we're also fishing.
I think the 21st.
The 21st. Perfect.
Yeah, because you have something going on the
I've got so you've been through this. What does this mean? So, I just turned 40, but I'm very good at doing my annual doctor's checkups, making sure that the knee still kick when they whack it with the little rubber
Yeah.
mallet.
Yeah.
Dude touches your chest in 15 different spots and goes, inhale,
Breathe.
exhale, breathe, inhale. You know,
Yeah.
your
Called the physical.
body mass index has tripled since last year, like that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. You know, you're slightly.
Is it 40 or 45 when there's a drastic change in the annual checkup, Frank? I'm dead serious on this question.
You're getting real close to be violated.
Is it 40 or 45 though?
I believe it's 45, so you're good. But it might start at 40. It depends how much your doctor likes you.
Okay. See, Clay's saying 40, but now I'm hearing 42. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure. So yeah, hopefully it'll be an uneventful regular checkup, but I try to take care of that when I can. So
it will be, but if you think about what's about to happen to you, your blood pressure might be a little higher than normal.
Yeah, that's very true. Last time you were here, we kind of did the listeners a disservice. We didn't give anyone really a chance to hang out with
No, we didn't.
So
tell them where we're going to be.
One of the cool things, Michael Strands, who owns Lucky Lure Tackle in Oklahoma City, is a big, one of the biggest independent distributors of Pradco baits in Oklahoma.
Sounds good to me.
He might be the biggest independent. I mean, not like a Bass Pro or something, you know, she's literally just a one-off. Like this is his tackle store. He bought it from a couple dudes who had it for the previous. It's a staple in the Oklahoma City and Oklahoma area. A couple other good tackle stores in Oklahoma too that I support. Actually, my buddy TJ just bought a tackle store. I should have him on the show to talk about that. Just buy it, you know, start a tackle store. That would just be, you don't talk about stress, blood pressure through the roof. Anyway, so Michael basically did the same thing. Big supporter of the show. Loves you, Uncle Frank. Big supporter of Pradco. Bunch of brands at BTL. Also supports BTL. He does these like in shop meetings or seminars and things like that. So on the 25th, he's doing a seminar that is targeted towards junior anglers, so youth anglers, high school anglers, and college anglers. Number of different speakers coming in to talk about sponsorship, about the fishing, about just to get you prepared from when you're younger all the way to older. Well, one of the topics is on and off the water courtesy, customs, and traditions. And I was sitting there the other night enjoying a ice cold Coca-Cola, and I saw that he was promoting this. I was like, my God. I said, Frank will be in town then. Long story short, you're going to be at Lucky Lure Tackle January 25th, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. You're going to be talking to the kids and adults there about on the water courtesies, how to conduct yourself on the water in a tournament and non-tournament situation. You'll be drinking black coffee and talking fishing until 9:30. We will be leaving at 9:30 sharp, as long as it's not gas and wind, because Frank wants to fish as much as he can when he's here. So coffee with Uncle Frank at Lucky Lure Tackle. All the address, all the details, all the information that you need is in the description of either the podcast platform that of your selection, the iTunes description, or the YouTube description.
Yeah. Does he have a whiteboard there that I could draw something at?
We could, yes, we could make that happen.
We're going to make that happen. Okay. Cause I have an idea floating around in here for this thing. And, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's
what kind of idea do you have?
Well, I need to, when you're talking about on the water etiquette, there's some things you need to know as an angler in order to be more courteous. And then I'll be able to show in detail what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm being cryptic about it because I don't want to give everything away.
No. I'll text him right now. Oh, he literally texted me already. Whiteboard, got it. Listen to the show. So like when you walk into Lucky Lure Tackle, they have like a TV up there. Usually they got like they always have some sort of fishing on, but you know, BTL Day 4 is always on replay when I'm in there.
Outstanding. Good thing to have on replay.
how to avoid red jet skis.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the fans DM'd me a picture of the kayaker in the boat, and the jet skis ran over where he was fishing, and he yelled at him.
Yep.
One of the jet skis turned around and literally washed him out. He lost his camera equipment and everything. And he posted, if anybody knows who this is, fess up, because I need to get reimbursed for, my thousands of dollars worth of equipment. And I was informed the other day the guy was in fact arrested.
Nice.
Yeah, so justice is served.
There you go. We might get there a few minutes early.
Yeah, we'll do what we can.
I'll also have the newly rigged out Bass Cat in tow. So if you want to take a look at anything from the batteries to the grass to the mounts, get up, look around in it.
Yeah, hopefully
it'll
it's
be
not
parked out there.
13 degrees outside.
Well, it's going to be a little chilly.
It's going to be. Well, hence the topic of today's show.
It's actually going to be 28 and 50.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, and then. So I'm a little confused on the 25th. I showed you this before. Big wind events are not good for the crappie and bass fishing that we're doing. Look at that wind next Saturday. Yeah, it goes from 10 to 44 at 5 p.m. I'm very confused. I've never seen that wind graph before. Have you?
Yeah, well, I have. And here's the thing. It's the front system moving in.
So does that mean we're screwed on Sunday and stuff? Because this is the 10-day outlook. I can't see what Sunday looks like.
It's too far away because it could change.
So that's why Thursday and Friday look really good, because it's literally, quote, the calm before the storm.
Correct. And it could blow itself out overnight, or it could dissipate and never even happen. Depends how strong the front wall is. This winter I went out fishing, and I was traveling about not 2 hours from where I live, but probably close. And as I was driving, I could see the wall coming over the lake, and it was like a definitive line of black cloud that was almost stacked vertically. And when I got to where I was fishing, it was calm as could be. And then 25 minutes later, it was like you had to hold on to shit so you didn't blow out of your boat. I mean, it was crazy when that front wall came in. It came in with vengeance. So yeah, I mean, it's a weather thing.
Yeah, that kind of leads us to a great topic, which I wanted to get your take on, which was sudden weather changes. Just at 20 seconds, it had been 48 to 52 degree water across here, fairly clear. We were just getting over a massive rain event, but I'm talking about a drastic sudden drop in water temperature. Most of the country will have this. They're experiencing it now further east of Oklahoma, but it went from that. It snowed 6 to 8 inches. All that runoff went into, and then we didn't get above freezing for 36 hours. And as a result, when I went out yesterday, the warmest water temp we could find was 39, and the fish you caught a couple fish, but the bass were ice cold when you caught them. There were a lot that were not reacting to the bait, and then the crappie literally could not get them to react to a jig. It was like they were stunned. Have you experienced that? Is there a way to combat that? Help us out here, Frank.
Okay, so we're clearly talking about late fall. We're talking about winter.
Mm-hmm.
Up where Matt, I learned something when I came down there last year and fished with you. Most of our lakes up here are relatively clean water. And that, when I say relatively clean, I mean we'll have 2.5 foot, in some cases 8 foot of visibility. That's pretty clear water for what you fish.
Yep.
So I'll relate a story. I was going crappie fishing with a friend of mine, and I said, call the marina and find out what the water clarity is. So he called the marina. The guy at the marina said, yeah, we just put power poles on a guy's boat. We went out, and made sure they worked, and we could see the bottom of the power pole in 8 feet of water sticking in the dirt. Okay. So I'm like, oh my God, we're going to slaughter the crappie. Okay. So we literally, it was the next day. We go out there, we launch the boat. You can't see 4 inches deep in the water. Wound up catching 2 or 3 nice slab crappies. Most of them wouldn't even react. You drop down on them, they'd look up at it, and then they would just do that, and they wouldn't even hardly react. Change colors, change sizes, did everything. Could get a couple of them to fire off. We couldn't really, it wasn't like it was supposed to be. Some of the places where I had found the crappie earlier, they were completely void of fish. And I'm talking about hundreds of them were on these structural elements, completely void of fish. The fish scattered, they moved. So what happened? So same thing. We had a lot of snow. We had a runoff melt. Okay. The water temperature dropped because of the runoff, but it got muddy. I mean, muddy. In those conditions where I live, it's the hardest time to catch them in the wintertime, because what I noticed is in the winter, it doesn't matter how cold it gets. If the water's clean, you still catch them. As soon as the water gets dirty, yes, you don't. I was throwing jerk baits on bass, and they wouldn't even move. Nothing. Jig and minnow wouldn't even move. Nothing. We couldn't do. They wouldn't do anything. So the whole key to that would have been wait it out a couple of days, because as it stabilizes and starts to clean up again, the sediment starts to drop, the lake starts to get clean again, the fish will go off. They'll start firing on everything. And it doesn't have to be 8 foot of visibility. It could be 2.5. It's getting cleaner. It's stabilizing. They're feeding. So basically what happened was I needed a day or two to go back, and it would have been a completely different ball game. So that's what I experienced, like right around Christmas.
So literally what I'm kind of hearing is there might be a day or two where it is not good fishing, and there's nothing you can do to do it. There's no adjustment you can make. You just ain't going to catch them, or very many.
Or very many. I mean, you're going to catch a few. We caught a few. You're going to catch a few, but it's not going to be, you're working for it. Let's put it that way. This is, you're working for it.
It's not great fishing.
Right. There's tricks you could do to get a bite, color changes, action changes, even like we're all about chasing the suspenders in the wintertime and doing all this stuff with live scope. Literally, I could have put a football jig on, went to all the steep rocky banks and drug something on the bottom, and probably could have caught a few doing that, because I've done it before live scope. I've done it. You know what I mean? No matter what the water color was, because when the water gets dirty, structure related bass plaster into the structure. They get right in it. That's when flipping gets good, because they bury themselves right in the thick of it all. And so there's techniques that you could do to get bites. You don't have to chase them live scoping when the conditions don't give it to you. That day that my buddy and I went out, we had one thing in mind. We were catching them on suspending jerk baits, and we were going to crappie fish in the afternoon. And so I didn't even bring other tackle, because in the winter, my boat's empty. I only throw tackle in that I'm going to use for the day. So I didn't even bring the other stuff. Okay. Which was probably stupid on my part, but here, day before, 8 foot of visibility. We don't need anything else. So it changed. But the other thing here, okay, so here, I'm going to tell you the 3 things I look for when a severe weather comes in. How much did the water temperature drop? Because that's critical. 10 to 12 degrees is monumental for a bass, especially. It's a monumental drop in water temperature. Those fish are definitely not going to be running stuff down. You're going to have to catch those ones. Did the water color change? Was it clean? Did it get dirty? Is the water always dirty on the lake? If it's always dirty, the dirty water won't bother them. But if it's usually you have some form of visibility and then you got none, especially in the winter and first thing in the spring, ice out conditions, cold, dirty water in a short period of time makes fishing difficult. Not impossible, difficult. The next thing I'm going to look at is the wind. What is the wind? And if it's blowing like a hurricane, can I fish effectively where the bass are located? Because that's important. You could catch bass in the wind. You could catch bass in the wind that's so strong you can't even cast a lure into the wind. But how effectively can you fish there? So if your bass are located in the middle of a wind funnel, what do you have to do to be accurate with your presentation and your approach to catch those bass? If it's impossible for you to do that because of the wind, finding places out of the wind is okay, except if the bass aren't using that particular type of structure or whatever, they're not there, you're not catching them. Even though you could fish, you're not fishing around the fish. And that's the three things pretty much in the cold water periods that I look for.
We had all three of those things. We had a temperature of 10 to 12 degrees. Water got dirty, and it was slightly windy.
Yeah, I mean that's the perfect storm of going. We're going to have to work so hard to catch them today.
Now we had to work, but I caught two 3-pounders that were ice cold.
Oh yeah,
and ghost white, and the strike window, the strike zone was very small for him. And then we saw 4 or 5 others, and then Scott had a rather large one that ate his offering. It was a big one. It was one of those where you could see the tail on the scope.
Oh, dude, those are big ones.
And it moved like a Volkswagen, like at that same pace. Like I was like, have you ever noticed how like the real big ones like are never in a hurry anywhere? Like they're always just like, and even when they spook, they just spook slowly. Or when you miss them, they don't go. They just glide down out. Anyway, he had one. He did nothing wrong. It just when he loaded up on it, it unloaded before he got it in the boat.
Those was rotten fish.
But the crappie, like there were some a bunch of suspended crappie. 2 things here. Really cool stuff that you could only see on forward facing is like this lake is usually like an 80%. If you put it in front of the crappie, it's gonna react to it. Might not eat it, but it's gonna. These fish were they gave zero care about it. And the only time you could get them to move, I mean, they were suspended 6 feet down, as if you literally hit them with the jig, they just like glide 6 or 7 feet. And I mean, it was 39-degree water. The other thing was, we didn't see many bass, but a lot of the bigger bass that we saw were on a piece of timber in the bottom third of the water column with their nose literally like if this is just pole timber. That's handy that we can do this. If this is the pole timber, the bass, and my fingernail is the bass's nose, it was down here on the bottom sitting just like this. Right. And we had a couple that we could get up to come, and that's how I caught mine. But the majority nose on it. If you could get it, you get the bait to them, and they just would very slowly move away from it. It was the classic pre-forward facing sonar where you're like, all right, black and blue jig, pork, and you're going to put it really tight on every piece of cover. Now, when you look at that archaic, ancient, medieval way of fishing, you realize, my God, no wonder it was hard to catch them, and it is hard to catch them in cold and muddy water, because with the advances in technology, we're able to look at 50 options and see the 3 that there's a fish on, and maybe you could get one to show interest.
But the cool thing is you see their behavior, Pat. You see their behavior.
But we're only casting to the 3 pieces of cover, because it's not a structural element, it's a piece of cover, right? Correct. A tree is a piece of cover that have fish on them.
Correct.
Back in the Stone Ages, you'd have to freaking slowly flip all 50 of those pieces of cover
Oh yeah.
And then out of that, only 2% even had fish on it. And then out of that, only 5% of those would show interest and bite.
Correct. I mean, that's what it was. It was methodical. Pitching and flipping used to be mechanics, accuracy, and keep moving. You're pitching in there, you're moving, because you had to cover massive amounts of territory to get your 5 bites.
And I'm saying this tongue in cheek a little. It's obviously still very effective. There's a lot of people who fish without it. But my point is, I understand why. So like that was one thing where forward facing sonar proved what you read in Bassmaster, proved what the theories are, proved what we thought about cold, muddy water, because you're like, oh yeah, there it is. It's on the cover. It's lethargic. It's closer to the bottom.
And it's plastered to it.
And it's plastered to it. I was like, that, like there were several instances where I was like, that was straight out of Bassmaster magazine.
100%. 100%.
Which was cool.
Yeah, I mean that's earlier in when we were talking about the dirty water, when I said they bury right in the stuff, they get right in it. There's ways to catch fish when the conditions are not optimal. It's slow, it's methodical, and you have to keep moving. And that's it. But like I said, I didn't bring anything with me except jerk baits and jigs and minnows.
Let me ask you this then. So you have that first cold front. This is what we're going to experience when you're here, Frank. So this is what we're going to be fishing in. So you have that first cold front, a little shock the system deal, right? So it hasn't been down like in the 30s in probably 3 winters here. We had a 12-inch rain this fall, which we haven't had that much rain. We've had 48 hours below it, just a lot of things that happen in Oklahoma a lot just haven't happened for the past 3 years. So you had stable, traditionally warm, and exceptionally clear fisheries. I'm talking about a lot of these hundreds of smaller fisheries that are around here. Now they're at normal pool, they're stained, and they're colder than normal. So, you know, the past 3 winters, when you're going out there going 25, 28, 32-pound bag, you're hearing 40-pound bags out of certain places.
Right.
It's a little different now. It's good for the crappie fishing right now, though. I will say that. But what happens when you have that? It shocks the system. Those fish are getting used to it. It's starting to clear up again. And then it's not necessarily rain, but then bam, it gets hit with a second cold front. So like, is that affect them as much as the first cold front, or by now are they used to that water in the 30s? It's not as a drastic lockjaw as when that first massive cold front hits.
So the first one is the critical one.
Okay.
After that, I think of it like, well, I'm not going to make the comparison I was going to make, but the first one is the most severe. Okay. After that, if bass just quit eating, they wouldn't eat the rest of the winter, because you're going to have you're having a lot of weather fronts, cold front, normal, cold front, normal, cold front, normal. They would starve to death. Okay. They have to eat to some capacity, so they will feed again. The first one's the worst one. And then as things stabilize, and when I say stabilize, let's say your water temperature now is going to be 38 to 40. Let's just say it's going to be 38 to 40 for quite a while. So once that temp stabilizes, the fish start to behave normally again. Like up here, like I'll be honest with you, when I yeah, well, I didn't compare it to anything, but like up north, I'll be honest with you, when I first started fishing Bassmasters and I heard people talking about cold fronts and, oh my God, the bass don't bite, and oh my gosh, I said, I'm gonna kill them because I fish in cold fronts all the time and I always catch them. This is crazy. But when you get out of the north, okay, because I don't think up north, I don't think the cold fronts affect them as much as the water conditions. As you go down south, I have witnessed firsthand when a cold front comes in, you almost don't catch them. I mean, it's like when my first cold front in Florida was on Okeechobee, we had 3 days in a row. I don't think it got over 23 degrees.
Oh, that's rough.
And I caught not a single bass in 3 days of practice.
Dude, I did that on Toho. There's nothing worse than knowing you most likely are not going to get a bite in 12 hours.
Yeah.
I mean,
like literally, like not a single bass. I looked at the forecast. The first day of the tournament, it was going to jump up to 60 degrees, 60 something degrees. I don't remember exactly. So I said, well, I know this one area that I was in, that there was fish there. I didn't catch them. And this was before forward facing sonar. But I knew there was fish there and I didn't catch them. So I went in there in the tournament, and all morning long I struggled. I snagged tilapia on rattle baits. I snagged a couple alligators. Fishing was brutal.
Not intentionally, just fishing.
Just fishing. Later on in the afternoon, I caught my first bass. And then I caught another one. And then I was so close to having to come in, and I caught the fish and I came in. They weren't giants by Florida standards at all, but I had moved way up in the pack. And so the second day of the event, I went to another place where I had fish, and I was actually, Matt's going to love this, I was actually Carolina rigging. And I Carolina rigged
you've given up.
No, no. When you're catching 5 and 6 pounders on a sea rig, you ain't giving up. So anyway, so I had fished myself into a check, and I did not catch one bass in 3 days of practice. Now, not a one. But the the weather gradually got better and better and better as the tournament went on, and that was my first real holy crap moment with the cold front. I was like, there's no way, because everybody said it, and I never believed it because I didn't experience it up north. Now, you have to also remember, back then, I never fished anywhere hardly, except the farthest south I ever went was North Carolina. And so I never really experienced that, but I will tell you straight up, 100%, Florida bass, and a lot of the lakes that they're stocking with Florida strains, Florida bass in cold front conditions are the hardest animal to catch, period. That's my
it's not easy.
No.
If people bring items for you to sign into Lucky Lure, are you cool signing them?
See? Yes.
Just had to make sure. There you go.
Yeah. Funky fish.
I know Michael was trying to get some of the signature colored FX Pro Rogues in the shop before the 25th. I don't know. He said that he said he'd give it he gave him a 25% chance of getting them in there.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
It's a tough ask in a week to get them into the studio or into the store.
Yeah, being in the fishing game my entire life has always been on the fishing side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I learned an extraordinarily amount about our industry when I got involved in the business side of it. And nothing is easy, because there's so many things that have to occur to get a bait from start to finish. There's so many things that have to be put in place. And if one of those things gets stalled for any reason, it bottlenecks the whole process up. It's not and a lot of times, you guys, it's not the brand of the bait. It's shipping. It's, a component that's late. It's the craziest,
a split ring shortage.
100%. It's the craziest, littlest thing that throws everything out of whack. Because here, you have to think about it. Said company, we'll say company A, makes these 15 or 20 products, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to be scheduled into a production. And so when one thing goes awry, the entire production calendar gets screwed up. Because
it's like my day in a tournament day. When one thing goes awry,
That's right.
Oh,
Everything
chaos
follows.
for the remainder of the day.
Everything follows, right? So yeah. So I mean, that's that's some of the stuff that I've learned in this, and I've been frustrated a lot of times because I'll design a color and it's supposed to release at the most optimum time, and it doesn't get done, and then I'm like going off the deep chart and everything else. But over the course of however many years I've been doing this, now I understand.
Mhm.
It's everything has to go exactly perfectly. And if one little thing goes out of place, it may be, we may be talking about, you know, a rebel craw, or we may be talking about a pro rogue. If one thing goes wrong with the pro rogue production, it bottlenecks the rebel craw production. So it's crazy how intricate it is. I didn't realize that in the beginning. Um, and so yeah, so it's very interesting. It's I learn stuff every single day, which is so cool because I hate to just be stagnant. So it's
Mhm.
really cool.
What else you got?
I'm just pumped, dude. I can't wait to get down there and crack on some fish, man.
We might, yeah. There might be an evening where we just post up at a watering hole and say, "Hey, we're gonna
We're
have a
here.
few. We're gonna have a few sweet teas. You want to come by and have a
or
seat?"
or unsweet teas if you're Mike.
Mike McClellan.
Yeah, if you're Mike, we'll
Thanks
do
for
it.
jumping on that regular BTL the other day too with Todd Castledine. That was a treat. If you guys didn't have a chance, I know we have listeners who just listened to day 4 and aren't really into the shenanigans of the regularly scheduled program, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, focuses more a little bit on the industry side and the tournament side of professional bass fishing. But had Todd Castledine on, it was more of like a rules show, and then Frank chimed in on the comment section, and I shot him
Link.
a link, and then he jumped on the show for an hour. It's like a 2-hour show. I thought it was one of the better ones that I've done in recent memory. So thank you for doing that, Frank.
Oh, dude, I was surprised to get the link because I here. Okay, so my routine in the morning is really pretty simple. Um, I wake up, eat breakfast, and then go work out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I'm working out, I listen to BTL days 1, 2, and 3. It's just what I do. I never comment. Well, once before this I did, but I normally never comment. I don't even, people don't even know I'm on, that I'm listening to it. But I always do. Well, the Castledine show, um, interest me a lot because I agreed with what you were saying, Matt, about a last minute rule change, et cetera. We're not going to go down the road again, but I agreed with what you were saying, and I had my opinions on it. Well, I had made a comment in the comment section where Todd Castledine said something that I 100% agreed with. So I just typed in 100% agree and sent it. And then
Right.
I'm like, oh no, there's people talking in there, and somebody before me might have said something that they think I'm agreeing with what they said.
Yeah.
So I stopped working out. I scrolled through the thing and I found where it was, and I go, nope, that's not what I agree with. I agree with Todd. So I made another comment, and that's why I did 2 comments in there.
Yeah.
And then of course I got the link, and I was like, oh, perfect timing.
What are we talking here, Frank? Are we talking free weights? Are we talking ellipticals? Are we talking treadmills?
Okay, so a long time ago, my brother, I have a twin brother named John. He had, Frankie and Dylan's body shop, and now he's got F&D off-road where he does all off-road stuff, and restoration work. Anyway, long time ago, probably in early 30s, he had a heart attack. He was out four-wheeling, had a heart attack. Anyway,
In his 30s.
yeah, it was my first Bassmaster Classic I made.
Holy smoke.
I got the call when I was at the Classic. So I literally drove from Alabama to Pennsylvania where he was four-wheeling.
Mhm.
anyway, so the whole deal starts with all that. And so then I said, well, okay, I better get serious because we're twins. This crap's hereditary. I better get serious. So I got to quit smoking. I got, I had to do all this crap. So every time I go get checked out, they're like, yeah, you're good. You're fine. You're good. You're fine. You're good. Whatever. So as I started getting older, I said, I better do cardio because I heard that a small amount of cardio is more beneficial for heart health than anything. Like I don't work out to lose weight. I work out just to be healthy. You could be a little bit overweight and be extremely healthy. And so last year, the year before, I can't remember, maybe 2 seasons ago. That's because we fish, so everything's a season to me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way.
Yeah, so maybe 2 years ago, I went in to get the full workup and everything else, and the doctor said, yeah, you're pretty good. What are you doing? And so I told him what I was doing, and he said, well, keep doing it because it's working. You could afford to lose 10 pounds, but whatever. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. So I do. My sons are in the military. Well, we're in the military. And so I said, what if you guys get hurt and you can't run because you got to run? They always run. He said, well, they'll put a person on a bike and they do 6 miles in 20 minutes on a stationary bike. So I said, okay, I can do that. Which is way harder than you think because you're pedaling. So that's what I do. And usually it's 5.2 to 5.9 miles in 20 minutes I get done. And then I work out for another 35 or 40 minutes after that. But it's all machines. I don't do dead weight. Long time ago, I hurt my back. I can't do the dead weights. So I got to be really careful. So it's all machine stuff. And like I said, it's not to be like, Atlas or anything. It's just to stay healthy. That's all I do.
Well, that's good. All right. I got a lot to do before you get here because it'll be very productive, but it'll be very, very single track minded.
Yeah, and like I said, dude, I could stall one day if I had to.
No, yeah, it's more than welcome. So, what are your goals fishing wise when you come down for the week? Like as far as what are your goals fishing wise?
Okay, well, I mean, clearly,
like a wish list or like what you aspire to boat, that type of thing.
Okay, so what I aspire to put in the boat, 3 pound or better crappie, which I know is high, but you have them there.
I caught my first one. We will go to the fishery where I caught my 3 pound crappie. Have you ever put a 3 pound crappie on a scale?
I have not put a 3 pound crappie on the scale.
Okay, so that would be a PB.
That'll be a PB, a legitimate
legit
PB. Yeah, yeah, because I've caught some giants that I didn't weigh, and I have no idea how big they were. I've caught a lot of 2.5 pounders and stuff just under 3 that I scaled up, but I never put one on the scales 3 pounds.
Okay.
Largemouth bass, I don't care. Like I was going to go, I got to go down there and catch one over 7, but I don't really care. It's a largemouth. I mean, I catch them all the time. So
what's your biggest minnow largemouth?
My biggest minnow largemouth.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to have been in the past year.
Right, 100%. Honestly, it's probably just a smidge under 4 pounds.
Okay, well, let's get your PB minnow.
All right, PB minnow. And then now jerkbait's going to be a little tough because I've caught 5 pounds largemouth on jerkbaits, and I've caught bigger than that on smallmouth.
Yeah, jerkbait's my play. Anything else fishing-wise that's on the list?
No, I don't care. I want to go smoke crappies. I want to throw jerk baits on minnows on some bass. And other
What
than that,
percentage do you want to do? And I know we'll do it based on bite, but what do you think? Are you thinking like 60-40 crappie bass, 50-50, 80-20, 20-80? Like, what's your breakdown? Well, I've got to plan this stuff, Frank. I got to make sure we're on the fisheries where there's the bite. It's going to be windy a couple of the days. I've got to figure out what lakes we can be on and what pockets where there's going to be fish where we're not just eating 3-footers frustrated.
Matt, you are the master of no planning. You are the master of just flying by the seat of your pants and making it happen, dude.
I know, but when it comes to this, you have to understand here's what people don't understand. You post all these giant crappie, or I post a lot of big crappie and things like that, and bass. It's not like I've got like a big crappie hole. I mean, or big bass hole. Like those are not the same bodies of water. They're bodies of water that are similar, but they are from Texas all the way to Northeast Oklahoma. That's what I don't think a lot of people realize. I think they're like, oh, he's got a lake that's got big crappie in it.
Oh, no.
Goes, catches them, shows them off. Like, we have like 15 or 20 options. That's why it's funny to me, because it obviously is because of the body of water with the genetics with the fish that are in there, but it's also not because there's a lot across this 2 or 3 state area that all look incredibly similar.
Correct.
But you go to one and you zero, you go to another one and you look, you look like a hero. You look like freaking Mr. Crappie.
Okay, so why don't we play the percentage by ear? Because
I say that? I must have said that I have a huge bass hole.
You did say that.
Oh God.
But what I'm saying is, it doesn't have to be 80, 20, 40, 60, 50, 50.
Well, that depends kind of on my pre-fishing, on whether I focus heavily on figuring out where the dialing in the crappie bite more or the bass bite more. That's all I'm saying. Like if I was the key on one species, which one would you?
Okay, so I would say go more heavily on the crappie.
Thank you.
Because it as a bass guy, the crappie game I've become so addicted with it. I mean, I can't help myself. I just can't help it. I will bass fish a couple times. Will crappie fish probably more. Is that what good for you?
Perfect.
Yeah, because we don't have to lean heavy on the largemouth, dude.
No. And if you're after a 3-pound crappie, there might be a day or two where we catch 3 or 4 fish the entire day.
Dude, that's trophy hunting, man.
Yep.
When you're sitting in your tree stand waiting for the buck you've been looking at for 2 years to come out, you may not shoot him, you may not see him, but when he shows up, he's going down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just change the show to Crappie Talk Live at this point. I feel like you'll not be excited about things that are happening later this year.
Well, we're not. Listen, I am a multi-species guy. Everybody knows it. This year I have not chased steelhead at all, which annoys me a little bit because normally I'll get my steelhead fix in.
Yeah.
I muskie fish, I pike fish, crappie fish, walleye fish. I want to catch everything. I'm if it's got fins and eyeballs, damn it, I want to catch one.
Yeah, listen, BTL is staying the same. There will actually, based on what is happening, it's pretty exciting. It will be way more bass, the normal BTL, the normal day 4 and everything. You just have other viewing options.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll be additional content. There will not be anything taken away from the bass content.
No,
for the additional.
No, and we're gonna do some real heavy deep dives, bass fishing on day 4. You got to understand, some of the deep dives take a lot of time to prep for because there's a lot of information that I got to pack into a short window. So I have to, when I write the outlines and I write my talking points down, I have to see, which ones I could skim over, which ones I got to get into. Plus, we're going to have some interactive software coming.
Yeah.
which I can't wait for, because then I'll be able to go, hey, check this out and do this, and it's showing up on the screen.
Yeah, I have to make that call today. We'll probably end up setting up a conference call on that.
Yeah, so the day fours are going to get really good,
Yep.
really good. So yeah, so there's a lot coming down the pipe in 2025 that I think the listeners and viewers will be really happy with.
To recap, here's a good one. If you want to go catch a lot of good keeper crappie, Jeff, Lake Thunderbird has a lot of good crappie. Right now, they're going to be in this time of the year. What?
We forgot.
What did we forget?
The color.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, we've got like a whole nother section to show. Jeff, okay, I'm gonna say it. Right now, if you want to catch crappie, you go to the cage at Lake Thunderbird down by the dam. There you go, right there. That, in my opinion, that's the best. You'll see it. It'll be where like the 4 boats are every single day.
You gave it up, dude. You gave it up.
It's been given up for decades.
Yeah.
It was given up before I even moved to Oklahoma.
I know, but isn't it funny how they utilize the same areas over and over again?
Yeah. It's actually like cool. You kind of get out there, you talk to all the other guys. I haven't done it in years. You get out there, like, hey, how's it going? Good. How are you doing? You got all sorts of stuff.
Okay, so as everybody knows, I am a Norman crankbait freak. Okay. We have brought back some colors from time to time. Now I'm teasing the living heck out of this. There was one color in particular that they quit making that I was fuming over. I had 6 originals. I had to give half of them up to recreate them because we're bringing it back. It was on the response sections of LureNet and my DMs and stuff like that. This color these guys have been screaming for this color for probably a couple of years now. Screaming for it. So I said we're gonna bring it out. We're gonna bring it out in I believe 6 body shapes, Norman body shapes. And I'm not going to tell you what the color is. It's going to release sometime in February. But I am going to show you something, and then you guys
have to tell, because people are going to start guessing as soon as they see it. So
don't guess yet. Wait a second. I'm going to show you part of a color. It's only a part of a color.
I know, but people are going to guess when that's happened, and then they're going to say, well, I guessed it. And then we're going to say, oh, it would be controversial. We need to make this slick and clean, because what we're going to do is the first person who correctly guesses this bring back old school color is going to get one of each in every single design.
Correct. So how do you want to handle it?
I want you to talk. Right, yeah, I want you to talk about it, describe it. But as soon as you start showing the color.
Oh, I'm not describing the color.
Or say whatever you need to say, because as soon as you show it, it's going to be a feeding frenzy in the comment section, because I'm just going based on, I'm looking at my screen right here, and it'll be the first one that pops up that is the like exact verbatim.
It has to be the exact verbatim color. I'm showing you a very small portion of it.
So as soon as you start showing it, the guesses are going to start flying in.
Correct. So as soon as I show it, the guesses will start coming in. Whoever guesses first the correct color will win a complete set of that color.
Mm-hmm. Talk for like 30 more seconds just to get people in a position. Maybe they're driving, they're listening to it live. They need to pull over. They need to get on their PC.
All right.
Maybe they're at work. They need to blow their boss off for a while so they can get in on this.
Okay. So everybody
give us some hints, like when it went away.
I want to say it went away 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay. Why? Just one of those things?
I'm going to say it was one of those things.
How long had it been around?
Almost since the beginning of Norman.
Of Norman.
Yeah. It's an old color that, in my opinion, it's a have to haver.
So if you've been throwing like DD22s for the past 20 years,
you'll know the color.
What are the odds that a deep diving crankbait guy has this in his box right now?
There is a strong possibility that anybody who is a Norman crankbait fisherman has at least 1 or 3 of them in their box.
And is this available now, or it's one of those things that will be available soon?
It's going to come out sometime in February, and
sometime in February.
Sure to announce it. So if everybody is ready,
one in each design. What do you say? 6 different designs in this color that is a comeback color.
Yeah, you're going to get one in every body style that it's put in. And I believe there's 6.
Well, can you see the comments, Frank?
No, I have them shut off.
Crap, you need to text me what the color is. I don't know what it is.
Oh.
I don't know what the correct color would be.
That's right. They're going to go. Matt's going to be like, what the hell color is it?
Yeah. Oh my god!
Oh my god! Is that the funniest
man.
thing? We almost blew this.
I thought we were so ready for today's show, and then
hey, dude, come on! All right, when you get that, you'll know, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, geez, oh man." So this color's coming back because, dude, people have been screaming for it, like screaming for it. Let me know when you're good to go, Matt.
So this is for live listeners only. So if you're watching the replay, you just get to live vicariously
through whoever wins.
Through the live listeners. If you're also like, hey, I can't listen live at 8:30 a.m. on Thursdays, next week we'll be live at a variety of different times.
Oh yeah, next week's gonna be crazy.
So stay tuned to Frank's social media, my social media, Bass Zone, basstalklive.com. We'll have all that time and schedule out also on YouTube. We'll try to schedule the shows in advance. So, all right. First person to correctly guess this color in the instant feedback. I have the color here. As soon as I see one,
I'm going to count it down. I'm going to count 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to show it. So if you send it before I say 1, you're not getting it.
No one's gotten it.
All right, ready?
Far, I don't think. Yes.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
That's half the bait. He's showing half the bait.
I'm showing only a portion of the bait. I taped all the other
only a portion of the bait.
Correct. Only a portion.
Start guessing the colors. It is an old. Explain what it is again. It is a return.
It's a bring back color that we have had so many people asking for this color. We have to bring it back. And so I'm moving it around so you could see the metallic in there because it's important for the description.
Okay. I believe we have a winner.
Oh, that was fast, man.
I believe we have a winner.
Okay. Who's the first one?
I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming that's what FGT stands for. Like, that guy is so old school that he's abbreviating the color name.
That's exactly what it stands for.
Let me make sure. Olive, mudbug, Tennessee shad. I do not see Tennessee shad, repair Evo.
Good job, North.
Wait, here's.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's him.
I just want to say good job because anybody that knows this color, I had taped off everything but the back because the back is very distinguishably different without giving the real color away of this bait.
You said the name of it, right?
I did not.
Can you show the bottom half of the bait?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, do a reveal.
All right.
I kind of like that. That guy, I mean, like, I literally was like,
So just remember, this is mine for my personal stash.
Did
So
I miss something?
It's
I'm
a
trying
little
to
bit.
make sure I didn't.
It's a little bit beat
Oh,
up.
wait a second. You got to give 2 away.
Okay.
Sorry, you got to give 2 away. Justin said fried green tomatoes, and Northeast Bass Fishing said fried green tomatoes. They both said it. This is an actual tie. They both said it at 9:37 a.m.
Okay, I got to.
It's literally. I can take a picture of it right now.
I got
9:37 a.m.
I believe you. I got to get 2 sets.
Okay, so Justin Welch and Northeast Bass Fishing.
There it is, man.
You okay with that? With the 2 sets?
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah, and so you could see all my hook wear on it because I wear them out.
Dude, that is gorgeous.
This bait here was one of the first or second red craw type imitators that came out, and I literally peel them on this color, and I can't look at how wore out that bill is. And I literally could not believe that when it went away, it went away. I was so disappointed. But this is a big teaser because it's not available yet. So yeah, the original ones. You're dang right, dude.
Justin Welch, Northeast Bass Fishing, send your mailing address and name to Matt, MATT, at basszone.com.
And then
I'll forward that on to Frank, and then when those become available, we'll send you the link.
Isn't it great though?
Sometime in February that's dropping.
Yeah, look at how this bait is so beautiful, man.
That's very sexy.
So the reason I taped the back off is because there's another color that has a similar back to it, but without the red flake in it.
Yeah, do you know what body shapes that color's coming in?
I do. But I'm not going to announce the body shapes yet because I have to make 100% sure that I'm not wrong. But let's put it to you this way: it's definitely going to be in all the depth ranges that you need it to be in. I promise.
Deep little end, stuff like that.
Deep little end, middle end, DD22.
I think I got that right. I wasn't trying to screw Justin Welch over. It was literally they came through at the system.
No, it's all good.
Was like I knew that was going to happen on this.
This is way early to be showing this bait, so just be patient. It'll come out.
Is there a chance that that's in a jerk bait?
There's no chance it's in a jerk bait.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Norman doesn't make a jerk bait.
Oh, it's no Norman color. You're not. Yeah. I know what you mean. You're not. What jerkbait did Norman used to make that
they made
Kevin Short caught him on? It's like a thick-bodied Kevin Short caught him on a jerkbait with like 9 ounces of lead on the front to get it to suspend right.
Yeah, it was like a Rippin' Shad or something like that. And Norman, I don't remember. I should know, but I never paid attention to that jerkbait really when it came out because when that jerkbait came out, I was so into the Rogues, I didn't even worry about another jerkbait.
Yeah. Man, I'm freaking tired this morning.
Yeah, well, you're going to be more tired.
We'll do a crappie fry while you're here, and then I'll also do some sous vide steaks.
Hey, dude,
what's your cut of choice? Like, I'm dead serious. Like, I have an option. Like, are you a New York strip, ribeye?
Dude, I don't care. As long as it's red meat, I'm good.
All right.
Literally.
You got to do it like, you like do a little fork holes through it, and then you smoke it on either side on the Traeger for 20 minutes. You don't want to over smoke it.
No, definitely not over smoked.
And then you put some garlic butter, some thyme, some rosemary, a little bit of clarified bacon fat.
Amen, brother.
And then you vacuum pack that, vacuum seal that steak in with it, and then you sous vide it for 4 hours. Then you sear it in cast iron, and then take a fillet knife and and thin cut it. Like I'm kind of over like the, hey, here's a 47-ounce tomahawk ribeye.
Yeah,
You
here's
know,
a hunk.
I'll see you in 3 days when it's halfway digested.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm into like the real thin, like I've got a real high end set of AFCO fillet knives where you just like cut it really thin so you get a little bit of the fat with it, a lot of the meat, keeps the juices in it. It's like an 8 to 10 hour process. A little bit of fresh minced garlic in there as well.
Yeah, we'll be good, man. It'll be good.
So I understand you never poke holes in your steak ever. I think that it gets more flavor throughout the steak, and then it basically, like, I have not had issues with it being dried out or anything like that.
Yeah, I think if you vacuum packed it, it'll pull the juice in the
It
spices
100%
into the
does.
meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've one of the things that I want to do is I know that some guys like tenderize it like a salt pack. Have you ever seen those guys that like pack the cut of meat in salt, like heavy coarse salt, not salt that gets absorbed in it, but it breaks down the muscle and
I've heard of that.
And then you rinse it off and then cook it from there.
That scares me a lot because if the meat absorbs too much salt, it's worthless.
Yeah.
That scares me, dude. That's like the brining process when you're smoking fish.
Like I know that Big Show forever has held the title of the elite series chef. Like if you want a meal, like Big Show's the guy. Terry Scroggins. Was he like that when you were on tour too? Like who was like the cook, the guy on tour who was known for his?
I don't know. When I was on tour, I didn't pay much attention to anything but what I was doing. I hate to say that. I hung out with a few guys, mostly to swill back some beers and grab some food after practice or after the event.
I got you.
But I roomed with Kenyon and Peter T one time and Mark Tucker, and I've never seen people eat like that in my life. I
rest in peace, Mark Tucker.
Yes, swear to God, he was a good friend of mine. That's all I'm going to tell you. I mean, wake up to eat breakfast. It
was a bad day to be a buffet.
Oh my God. It was a bad day to be any food anywhere. Like I watched him eat 6 pork chops and a half a dozen eggs and hash browns for breakfast.
That's the whole farm.
Right, for breakfast. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh. Like I love breakfast, but my breakfast is as simple as it gets. 2 eggs sunny side up, hash browns and bacon. And that's breakfast for me. And then I watch these guys eat,
But they're not cooking it.
Yeah, they cooked it.
Oh, they were cooking it all too.
Oh yeah, they cooked it. It was a great story because we got a cabin together, and so they're like, we're gonna go grocery shopping. We'll just split the bill 3 ways. So I'm like, yeah, cool. I first time ever, because I usually room by myself. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, how bad could it be? You know what I mean? I'm like, we got the grocery bill. I'm like, I couldn't eat that much food in a month. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these guys, they lived, man. They lived.
I just sent you Northeast Bass Fishing's. I just texted you. I texted you his. No. This is Northeast Bass Fishing's contact info.
Perfect. Okay.
How much was it again?
The grocery bill?
Yeah.
It was probably over $1,000.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I was horrified. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to have enough fuel to get home.
Steve, I use on the opens, I use the cooking as my that's how I remain stable. Like that's what I can put into that. That's 3 hours a night that you're prepping, you're cooking, you're eating, that you're not stressed out.
Right.
It's a stressful. Like I started it with Hallman when we were fishing the opens, and like we complemented each other. Incredible cooking, because what he was good at, I didn't know how to do, and what I was really good at, he didn't like to do. So we would end up with these amazing meals.
Perfect. That's perfect.
And now I room with Blake Schroeder now, who is he is an under the radar. Not many people know him. He's won over 3 BFLs, but under the radar as when it comes to his culinary abilities.
That's cool.
Family owns kind of part of a restaurant. The guy knows how. Let's just say this: he prefers charcoal so much that he brings a charcoal grill with him everywhere.
Perfect.
And if I get home or back to the house before Blake is there, I don't even have to call him. I just know, start the grill. And then by the time Blake gets back, you know, he's a guy who it has to set for an hour before he'll even consider putting anything on it.
The coal's got to be red, baby.
Yep. And he does this thing where he like, I mean, like the coal, it's an art form of how he gets the coals. And then sometimes he'll add chunks of other type of stuff in there and flavor and
perfect.
But
yeah, no, I went to early on in, I went to rooming by myself. Because I'm unfortunately, I can't have distraction. That's my part of my problem was when I roomed with people, I was too distracted all the time. I couldn't focus on what I needed to focus on. And I saw a very distinct drop in performance in the tournaments. So I realized that I needed to be by myself. And then once I started doing that, my performances started to improve. You know, so anyway, everyone's different.
That's just a long way of saying that I'm looking forward to cooking some steaks next week.
Oh yeah, I'm down with that. I mean, this ain't a tournament, dude. This is all about fun. Because here, look, I gotta be. Maybe I shouldn't. Okay, I won't.
What? Is it bad?
No,
I can't bet. What?
No, I got the crappie stick, the 16-footer.
Nice.
Or 15-footer. 15-footer. And I got a chance to go smack on a couple right when I got it. And it was that time, the dirty water condition that I was talking about, but I caught a couple of really good ones on it. And I was absolutely surprised because these were, 2-pound plusers, and I just went thunk, and I just went right in the boat, and it was good. And there were some other attributes about the rod that I really liked.
Yeah, when you come and fish with me, you're going to see. I think you're going to find that the crappie rod game is much more simple than the bass rod game. But that being said, there's about 5 different rods that you need, and once you have them, you're good. It has to do with length and action, and all of them, when you buy them, are under $150. A lot of them are right around 100. So you can have an entire arsenal for less than $600. The price of 2 bass rods, you're set for the year for crappie.
Yeah, and the reels don't matter that much because all they're doing is holding line.
Correct.
And, unless you're doing the spinning rod game and you're chucking forward, but you could use your jig and minnow rods for that too, because that's when I'm casting to them. That's what I do.
Yeah,
I caught so many on a 3-inch forward-facing sonar minnow this year. I've been catching a lot of bass on that thing. It's crazy because where I live, it's crazy because on one given day they'll have a size preference, and if you're off, they'll look at it, they'll run it, but they won't take it. And then you make one little change, you go from a 3 to a 4, and then all of a sudden they're choking on it. So it's pretty cool.
One of the biggest, and like I said, I'm excited for what is coming up later this fall, but one of the biggest surprises of 2024 was how effective that bait is for crappie.
Oh, dude. Oh my gosh.
It's
unbelievable. But
that's that color.
That's the hover minnow.
And in that color, no. Yeah, and in that color. That is the best accidental big crappie bait.
Hey, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over from where you were from the white one.
Yeah, I said
no.
that
Keep
was
going. Keep going. One more. One more. One more. One more. One more.
Is that new?
Yeah. Okay. It's out. I got to get a million of them things.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure you're doing my shopping for me right now.
Yeah, that's a badass crappie bait, badass smallmouth bait too.
Yeah, 100%. Is that that's the hover, not the drop, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The hover minnow.
Perfect. I got to go make a purchase right now.
I mean, I think we've established, Frank, I've got a lot of those since I literally have your 2024 order.
I know. That was the funniest thing ever. We needed to get them in for the show, and they sent both boxes to Matt. I'm like,
and I dumped him out like
just
a rock star and was like, hell yeah, 2 boxes. And then I remember thinking, these are very similar boxes.
Yeah.
I wonder why they sent me 2. And then it occurred to me they accidentally sent me Frank's too. And then they were, I mean, it was everything in every color and 2 or 3 of each. And I literally just called and was like, listen, you want me to go through this thing with the purchase order and separate them? I will. It'll be 2 hours of my life I really don't want to spend, but I screwed up by opening and not realizing it. And they said, screw it, we'll just send Frank another box.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was so funny. That was so funny. I'm like, how do you go? How do you? I live in Cleveland. You live in Oklahoma. How the hell does they both go to you? And
well,
like,
what Dan did, I think it got just messed up in like the shipping deal because it was under like they were sending it out to like day 4 BTL.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Because I remember, I'm like, man, I didn't get my box yet, and you're like, oh, I got mine.
Yeah.
I got both of mine. I was like, okay, that's good. That's funny.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we went from like 50 minutes to an hour and 32 minutes in the snap of a finger.
In a blink of an eye. In a blink
There's
of
the music.
In a blink of a color. I'll do this
next
while
week.
you close.
Next time that you see us, Frank will be sitting across from me.
Yeah.
In studio, making the drive from Cleveland Heights area to Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Can't wait.
I'm sure we'll be hanging out a lot at the new Buffalo Wild Wings. Dude, they shut the Buffalo Wild Wings down at the mall. I don't feel like it was doing very well. They built a brand new one just down the road. Okay. I don't know if it'll be open or not, but we can go there for UFC fight night, wear our Affliction tees.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure I watch Ohio State Notre Dame sometime.
Yeah, what night is that?
That's Monday night, the 20th.
Dude,
so yeah. I'm either
here for Monday night if you want to. We'll watch the game here. We'll do we'll have Juice come over and a couple other buddies. We'll have him do his famous smoked crappie dip, and then we'll do like a little appetizer, some fried crappie fingers, and ribeyes.
Okay, that means I got to leave earlier than anticipated.
Or you can just stay and come later. I mean, that sounds like a good time to me.
It is. It is. All right, let's talk about it after we get off the air.
All right, this has been another edition of Day 4.
Day 4.
With Frank Well, they changed the side of my screen right here, and I know it will come to a shock to you, but I don't have a producer. I know everyone thinks that there's 7 people behind here, like working on the.
No, that's how gifted you are, man.
But then they changed the layout. So when you change the layout, when you've been able to do something without even thinking about it for a number of years, and now you have to hit a couple different tabs, it really screws you up. But all I was going to say was this has been another edition of Day 4 with the man Frank SCALISH. We'll talk to everyone later. See ya.
Adios.